So it looks like Dead Space Remake both run and looks better on Xbox Series X than on PlayStation 5. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about Dead Space Remake. A very good game. I've been enjoying this game lately. I'm on chapter 4. I'm really loving the gameplay, atmosphere and new graphics and the lighting system, which makes the game darker and I guess more scarier. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, today I want to focus on both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 version of this game. Let's talk about resolution first, because this is something that both have in common. So resolution is pretty much the same, both in ray tracing and performance mode. So ray tracing mode on both consoles offer 1260p. That's average resolution and internal resolution at the same time, because this game uses FSR 2.0 to upscale or reconstruct the image, the graphics, and the game looks sharper. So even though it's 1260p game, well, the final output is a little bit higher, right? So game looks pretty good, I must say, right? That's ray tracing mode, which obviously offers better graphics but a lower frame rate, and I'll talk about it in a minute. There's also performance mode, which offers 60 frames per second, but resolution is actually quite low, because we're talking about 864p. That's on average. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, and all this information is courtesy of NX Gamer, Michael from IGN, same guy, different channel basically. And you know, that's his findings, which I find very interesting, because yeah, I mean, you know, I've been playing this game and I would never thought that this game runs at 864p. Now, obviously they use FSR 2.0 to reconstruct the image and they upscale this game to 4K. But I was of an opinion that maybe it's more close to 1080p-ish or something. So the game looks good. There's clearly some shimmering here and there, but generally speaking, it's actually not too bad. So considering that the internal resolution is so low, FSR 2.0 in this game actually does a very good job indeed. So kudos to AMD for that technology. So that's resolutions. Both the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X offer the same. Xbox Series S offers only one mode, and I don't even know how they call it. I mean, there's just no modes. There's only one particular default mode, and it offers 720p resolution, and obviously that's dynamic as well. So sometimes it's higher. I'm not sure if it actually goes below 720p, but it's much lower, but hey, it's a 1080p machine, so they uses FSR 2.0 to upscale to 1080p, so I guess that's okay. It's not too bad, actually. I'm actually quite surprised with FSR 2.0. I'm actually planning a video on that soon, so yeah, I've got some thoughts on it. Yeah. So that's resolution. Let's talk about graphics for a minute, because there was a little bit of a controversy at the very beginning of the launch of this title, because this title uses VRS on both consoles and PC. But now, by the way, there's no last gen version of this game, so it's only current gen consoles and PC. And VRS, variable refresh, variable rate shading. It uses this technology, degrades image quality in like dark places. Like obviously, Dead Space is a game that offers a lot of like dark corners and that kind of stuff. So that's fine to degrade image quality, texture quality in these places. But I think VRS on PlayStation 5 didn't work well, because it was degrading the image quality, the texture quality in lit places as well, where they were actually clearly visible. And there was a little bit of controversy surrounding it. There was an issue with that on Xbox as well, but not to the same degree. The quality of these textures were actually higher, but they promised a patch, and I think that patch is already on PlayStation 5, improving these textures. Not sure about Xbox. That patch is not available for Xbox yet, so hopefully they will improve that on Xbox further as well. So, but either way, the VRS just works better on Xbox Series X, and that's why you've got some of these textures look better on Xbox Series X. Not sure if it has anything to do with the fact that Xbox Series X supports VRS on a hardware level and PlayStation 5 has software implementation. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. Xbox offers better textures there. The VRS textures. Anyway, maybe that's actually the wrong way to put it, because there's no such thing as VRS textures. Anyway. Let's not complicate things too much. So that's image quality and textures. Other aspects of graphics are pretty much the same on both platforms. Obviously, Xbox Series S has some of the settings tuned down. Now, let's talk about performance, because this is actually an interesting thing and something that I hope developers will revisit that and fix it with patch. Because so here's what's going on. There's two modes: ray tracing 30 frames per second now, and performance mode 60 frames per second. And when you look at it, like both on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, well, are pretty much locked 30 in ray tracing mode or 60 in performance mode. That's now when they patched the game. Before that patch, and Michael from IGN actually tested it, there was this unlocked ray tracing mode, right? Like ray tracing mode had unlocked frame rate, and it offered performance anything between 60, but very rarely, and anything between 60 and 40 frames per second, sometimes even lower here and there. But it was 40ish for the most part. And that was on both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 before the patch. But Xbox Series X actually did offer, before that patch, better performance. It was averaging around 5 frames per second, advantage. So, you can imagine that it was 45 versus 50, for example. But that's not even the point, because right now this mode is locked on both consoles, so both play pretty much the same 30 frames per second. But I was actually quite surprised, because I get it why they did that, but at the same time there's people with variable VRR TVs and monitors, and these extra frames could actually be a kind of cool thing to have in that particular mode, right? Because that would make the game much smoother, because VRR would actually fix a lot of, maybe not fix, but smooth out the jagginess of I understand that, playing 45 frames per second or anything between 40 and 60 on a TV that don't support VRR or FreeSync is not the best idea, but at least they could have left an option to unlock frame rate for those people that have VRR TVs or TVs with VRR support, right? Because it would make the game much smoother, especially on Xbox Series X, because it offered not much better performance, but average better performance. So it was running better. So another idea is that I wonder if they could offer us a 40 frames per second mode, because that's on 120 hertz monitors and TVs. There's a number of games like that. PlayStation started with the Spider-Man. We had Plague Tale recently, which offers 40 frames per second as well, performance mode. but like obviously 40 is better than 30, and the game looks better because it uses ray tracing and some other graphic settings are of a higher quality. So hey, something to think about. And by the way, they are obviously, they will be improving, I guess, performance and patching that game, so maybe they could improve that performance, especially on Xbox Series X, because it was higher anyway. So, a game that would run anything between 45 frames per second and 60 with VRR on actually would not actually be that bad. And that mode offers higher resolution, better graphics, and a decent frame rate. So I don't know why they did that. It's a shame, but hey, it is what it is, right? So guys, that's Dead Space. If you haven't played that game yet, like, really do it. Really good game. Obviously, this is a horror game, so you need to consider that not everyone is fan of horror games, so I understand, but the story is really good. I remember that from the original. The atmosphere is actually much better now because the better graphics kind of translates to like more atmospheric game. Really, the game is darker, and there's been a couple of moments in this game where I actually got scared a little bit as well, that's for sure. So yeah, but that's what these games are all about. So guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.